Everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am here today with another full face of Chanel because after the first one that I did, which I will put up in a card, I was told many other things that I would probably like, that I need to try out. So like a good little consumer, I got online, added to bag, and promptly ordered. And I have found some new absolute loves. So I put together this full face of Chanel. Everything that I have on my face is Chanel and I love it. So let's go ahead and jump in so you can see the new things that I've been trying and loving. Okay, we're gonna start out the same way we started out the last Chanel video with a corrector. I only have one corrector from Chanel. I'm pretty sure they only have one corrector. And this is in the shade Pesh. Y'all, I have an eye appointment next week. I think I'm gonna have to up my glasses. I'm like officially that person who holds things out to be able to see them. So I'm just gonna put a couple of dots where I am the darkest and use the BK Beauty A506 to kind of stipple that in. And again, I'm only keeping it on this inner corner. I used a new SPF today for the first time, which is probably not smart. I mean, I don't dislike it, but sometimes I'm like, I probably shouldn't, on days that I'm filming, try out new skincare. But I got this new to me SPF from ISDIN, and I'm pretty sure this is only available from European sites. I couldn't find it on the US site. I got it from Care2 Beauty, and it's the ISDIN Fotoprotector Fusion Water Magic 5-star daily protection SPF 50. So this is a little 1.7 ounce I wanted to try, and so far so good. I love ISDIN sunscreens, and again, this is, to my knowledge, a European version. So I added it to my cart when I was repurchasing my La Roche-Posay's and Eucerins from Care2 Beauty. And it leaves a glow. We'll see how far that glow comes through, but it's not tacky and it's certainly not heavy. It's very, very, very thin. For complexion, this is my newest Chanel, and somebody posted on my Boy Day Chanel video, when I just could not stop raving about how much I love that foundation, about how this was their favorite Chanel foundation of all of them, and it's the Sublimage Essence Détente, La Essence Détente. I did not get this when it first launched because, quite honestly, the Sublimage in the pot did not work for me. So I was like, I'm not even really like that interested. But when that person commented that it was their favorite, I started doing a little bit more research. I'm like, maybe I will like it. So I ordered it, and I am in the shade B30, as I am with most of my Chanel products. This is the most expensive of all the Chanel foundations to my knowledge. Now, I don't remember how much the one in the pot is from Sublimage, but this is $165. It does come with a brush. I've used the foundation before. I haven't used a brush. We're going to try to use a brush today. I don't envision myself really loving it. It's super dense, but I'm going to give it a chance. May eat my words. This comes in only 12 shades, which is not the best. It is 1.35 ounces, so it is more. It's 30% more than most foundations. It's a serum-like texture that melts into the skin, creates a smoother, more radiant looking complexion. It does have vanilla planifolia, which is the signature ingredient of Sublimage, along with soothing vanilla enfleurage oil. That was comical. And light reflecting mica. So it moisturizes, comforts, and plumps the look of the skin. So I started out with 2 pumps. That's right there. It is not so thin that it like runs down my hand, but it's definitely not thick either. So I'm just gonna put, yeah, I don't like this brush. Definitely has a scent. It is not the vanilla planifolia extract scent. Is it the Lyra Clinical Hydrating Mist has that in it, and the scent smells like a vanilla. This is kind of just the Chanel scent. Okay, it's not horrible, but I would have rather spent like, I don't know, $130 on the foundation and not gotten the brush, because I mean, my IT Cosmetics $115 is my preference. So again, I have used this before, but I have not used it with anything but a brush. So I'm gonna do half, so you can still see. Okay, so this is without. You see the luminance, and this is with. So definitely still a radiant product, but I don't necessarily think it's much more radiant than without the foundation. All right, I need to move on to concealer, else it's gonna turn into an actual foundation review, and I need to remember that it's a full face. So concealer, I'm gonna use the same one I did last time because it's the only one I currently have from Chanel, which is the Sublimage Look Corrector U from Chanel. This is in the shade 30. I don't even know why I had to look. I have used the concealers that come just like this before and love them. In fact, I think I've gone through 2 of them in the past. So I do recommend those as well. It's just this is the only one I have currently. The same goes as what I said in the last video, but if you didn't see it, this is a concealer where you need the tiniest amount. The tiniest. Like, I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see what I picked up on my brush. See that little tiny bit in the corner? That's all you need. If you put more than that, you're probably not gonna like how it looks under the eyes, because more than that is not needed to get the coverage, and less is always more when you're working with your under eye. If I used it every single day and no other concealer, it would still probably last me like 2 years with how little I use of it. I love this concealer. I love it. It's in my top 5 probably at this point. It's wears so beautifully. It's just, you have to make sure to use the tiniest amount. Now I'm going to be using a couple of cream and liquid products before I use my powder. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Le Beige Cream Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. This is in 390 Soleil Tan Bronze. I talked about this in my last video where I used a powder and how this is not my favorite bronzer that Chanel makes. I do prefer the original formulation of this before they changed it. However, I am very happy that they expanded the shade range because I believe this one is the one equivalent to the original, and this is in no way universal at all. So it's very good that they expanded the shade range. I just don't love the formula as much. Now, the more I use it, which I have been using it more in preparation for this video, the more I do like it. I think there is another kind of trick to this for me, and it's the less is more. I think that's just something to go by no matter what. But using a smaller brush, I'm going to use the Sigma Precision Powder F08, which is a dense angled brush. Using a brush like this versus a big fluffy brush, which I've seen people use, is what works for me best. The fluffy brush puts it on too heavy, despite being fluffy. It puts it on a little bit too thick in areas that I don't want it to be thick. So this is just what I find works best for me. So I'm gonna pick up the product on the brush and then again, just stipple it into the areas that I want a little bit of warmth. So this, and this is one of the reasons I loved the original one so much, is that it was such a subtle color on me. It wasn't too orange. I know a lot of people kind of complained about the fact that it turned orange on them. I never had that issue, and it just looked like it truly was skin, that my skin was just sun-kissed, not that I had applied a bronzer to it. And as far as the color, that's the same with this one. So subtle, but it's there. Now for blush. Y'all, this blush is so much better than I thought it was going to be. It's the Le Beige Water Fresh Blush. When I first saw these launched, I was like, I don't know. I love the Water Fresh tint, like love the Water Fresh tint. But I was really skeptical on whether or not these would actually even show up because of the nature of the formula. I got these shade Intense Coral. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. Now I can't speak if some of the lighter shades would show up on me, but I'm sure some of y'all can, so be sure and put it down in the comment section. The pink one I kind of want to try because this one's so beautiful. It comes in a pump and it is available in 6 shades. The warm pink is the one that's kind of calling to me next, but this is how I use it. I will pump out 1 pump. So this is it. Same concept as the Water Fresh tint, where the micro beads of pigment are encased in skincare ingredients. And then I like to take a brush like this. You could easily take something just like this Sigma that I use for the bronzer. This is the Smashbox Angled Powder Brush. I don't even know if they still sell this anymore, but it's basically the same as the Sigma. It's a tad bit fluffier. And I'm gonna take it and work the product into the brush and see when those beads pop, the color really comes through. Got a good amount on the brush, and then I'm just gonna tap it into the skin. And because of the nature of the formula, it is glowy. To me, it's even glowier than like a cream blush, but it really melts into the skin. I love the color. I'm hoping it comes across on camera. It just melts into the skin. You really can't mess it up. I'm kind of putting it all over, and then I'll just take, you know, my finger, or you can take your foundation brush or just this brush, kind of go over and blend it out a little bit more, but it's just really, really, really pretty. Again, one of those products that I kind of just bought to say that I tried it without thinking that I was going to love it near as much as I actually do. Now I'm going to use the powder. In that first video, I used the Sheer Glow Healthy Powder, Le Beige powder. Today, I'm going to use the Natural Finish Loose Powder, which has been a favorite of mine for ages. Now, I loved the original formula. I do not dislike this formula. And in fact, I really like it. So I'm in the shade 30 in this as well. It does come with a puff. I don't use the puff. I'm going to take my Anissa multi-powder brush and kind of put that around the blush. So in my T-zone and then up the bottom of my cheeks. You can see how much that takes down the shine, but I'm gonna leave it where that blush is because I really like sheen in specific areas. I do not like it all over on me. Some people I see that can wear it and I'm like, man, that looks so good. I wish I could look that good, but I don't. I just look sweaty, and not in a good way, kind of like a go tap the sweat off your face way. So I like the targeted highlight. I love leaving my cheeks nice and glowy. And as the day goes on, I'll get glowier, but this powder really works to mattify it exactly like I want it to be mattified. And then for highlight, I'm gonna use, oh y'all, I really can't see this. It's the Balm Essential in, I have to look up how to pronounce this. I'm not gonna embarrass myself any more than the fact I have to look it up how to pronounce it.
Sentiment.
Sentiment. I would have said scintillement. So aren't you glad I looked it up? Sentiment. This is kind of the iridescent pinky gold version of the Balm Essential. This is the only one I have. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I think some of the other ones don't have the glitter particles that this one does. So if you're someone that does not like glitter on their face, I would not get this specific shade. However, I do think that some of the other ones maybe don't have as much and is more like the Victoria Beckham one, the Merit, that kind of finish. But this one definitely has some specks of shimmer, which is not technically my favorite, but I love the finish that it gives. And unless I'm like looking really, really up close in the rear view mirror of my car in the daylight, I'm really not seeing them. And if I can't see them, unless I'm doing that, I don't think other people can either. So it's not something I'm self-conscious to wear. And it really does leave such a pretty finish. So if you have a favorite shade of that, let me know. I know they just came out with 2 new ones in their summer collection. So let us know. Despite this having the particles in it, I still actually really like it. So that is it for complexion. Let's move on to eyes. I was going to make this probably one of the simplest eye looks ever, but I got a new one of these. This is the newer Ombre Essential Single Shadows. I have quite a few of these. One of my favorite shades is Beige Suede. I've talked about that a ton, but I got Rose Charnel, which is just a Mandy color. Look at how beautiful that is. A peachy pink matte shade. And I wore this yesterday. I'm gonna use my Refer 27. Yesterday? 2 days ago. With the other shade that I'm gonna wear. Pretty much the exact look that I'm wearing today. And I just love how it looked. So I'm just going to put this in the crease. This is a pink shade. I know a lot of comments in the past have said I just cannot wear pink. Get that. It may not be something you want to put like right up on your lash line or even on your lower lash line. But otherwise, I love the formula of these. I love the shade of this one. It's buildable. It's not overly pigmented. It doesn't have a ton of kick up when you use it. I don't have anything bad to say about these except for the fact that they're pricey for a single. It's Chanel. It's definitely not going to be cheap, but I now have 4 of them and I love every single color. Another color that I adore and wear often, in fact, in my Boy Day Chanel video, I had this on and the liner that I'm going to use, and that's it. And I feel like when I wear this shade, Beige Sable, by itself, I get the most compliments on my eye look, despite the fact that it is simply a champagne shade all over my lid. There's something about it that just is so pretty. I actually take the little brush that comes in it to apply the first layer. I don't really know why. I just do. It's there. It works. And then I will take my finger and pick up some more. So despite the fact that you definitely get more pigment with your finger, it still is not so in your face. It's just a very pretty, versatile, white-based champagne shade. And when I say that, I mean it's not gold. A lot of times people will have a champagne shade that has a gold base to it. This really just has a very neutral white base. And I love it. And then I'm gonna use my Stilo U waterproof long-lasting eyeliner in Brune Agape, which is basically just a dark brown shade. Very pretty. I've used quite a bit of this eyeliner. It was one of the repeated recommendations from my original Full Face of Chanel video. And I'm gonna take a stiff, small brush and kind of blend that out, smoke it out a little bit. I'm just someone who prefers a smoked out liner versus a really distinct, straight, defined liner, but you could definitely leave it like that if you wanted to. Nothing bad to say about that. Now the next product we're gonna use is the one thing out of this entire video which just does not work for me. I'm gonna show it to you anyways. And I know that I am in the minority of this because I see other people talking about it and they absolutely rave about it and love it. To be fair, it's the only shade I have for this actual product, but it's the Stilo Ombre et Contour, and this is in Nuage Bleu. Okay, so it's part of their just launched kind of products. And this color I was immediately drawn to. It is just this beautiful baby blue color with a tiny bit of sheen to it. And I was so excited to use this when I first got it. So excited. So I went and I used it all over my lid. I basically used it as a one and done shadow. It's the only thing I used. I loved it. It looked great. It was a little bit retro, but I wasn't uncomfortable wearing it. I loved everything about it. I looked in my mirror in my car 2 hours later to reapply my lipstick and it was gone. When I say gone, I mean nowhere to be seen. Not a line of blue left, not a trace of shade left, nothing. It is like my eyelids ate this product. I don't have oily eyelids. I've never had oily eyelids. I don't have them now. I always use a concealer to kind of prime my eyes. I did that day. It just was gone. So then the Full Face of Chanel, no, the Boy Day Chanel video, I use this like I'm going to use it today, which is as my lower lash liner. I loved how it looked in that video. I love how it looks now. It just will not stay on my skin. I do not know the problem with it. If you have any tips and tricks, if you're someone who that's happened to and you figured out a way around it, please let me know. Because again, I love this color. I love how easy it is. I love the effect it gives. It just doesn't want to stay. For mascara, I'm going to use my Noir Allure mascara because this is the only Chanel I have right now. I've used it in the past couple Chanel videos and quite honestly, I love it. In fact, when I first used it, I was like, oh, I don't typically like these wands as much. I love the Volume Day Chanel, which I still do, but I really like this one. So I'm going to do this off camera for repetition's sake, and then we'll finish off with lips. Okay, so 2 coats of the Noir Allure. Okay, lips. So my first video, I did not have any Chanel lip products, and everybody told me I would love the glosses. So I got the Rouge Cocoa Gloss in 804. I believe it's Rose something. I'll put it on the screen. This is something that looks very pink in the tube, but it actually goes on pretty pinky clear, as you'll see. So it's not something that I'm gonna get a lot of color out of. Now I can't speak to the other shades. They might be more opaque, but I'm not mad that this isn't, because I like the finish. It feels so good on the lips. And y'all know I love a nude lip, so this is perfect for me. So that's it. That is another full face of Chanel, and quite honestly, other than this blue Stilo, I love everything that I have on my face. Quite honestly, everything. Like when I do this look, I always love my makeup. It always lasts all day. And I'm coming to realize that that is a common theme throughout Chanel in general for me. I have a few brands where I feel like no matter what, whenever I wear a full face of their products, I'm gonna really like it. It's just gonna work for me, and Chanel is now part of that list. So I will have everything listed and linked down below. I do use affiliate links, so I appreciate if you choose to use them to support my channel. Be sure and let me know my next Chanel purchase and what it should be down in the comment section below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.